So, gentlemen, let's get back to our email questions. And I have one here from Tatum that many people have wondered about, but Tatum asked the question, and it goes a little something like this. The insurance company has offered me a settlement. Should I accept? And how do I know that their offer is a good one? Ooh, how many people have wondered that? Should I accept whatever they're offering? So who wants to tackle this one?
Well, there's so many levels to how to answer that I'm not sure how to even begin. Maybe we ought to have an entire show on that question, because in order to answer the question, you've got to have a lot of information. First of all, insurance adjusters they go to school and they're trained into how to deal with people who are injured, who are, from their vantage point, claimants, and how to get control of that claimant, how to stay in control, how to say the right thing, how to lead them along, bring them along, and hopefully keep them from going to a lawyer. And then they're trained in what the damages are. They've got extensive training that the injured party doesn't have. So the short answer is, if you're an injured party and you're dealing with a claims adjuster, and this is no reflection on the injured party, but they're simply not competent to know what the real value of their claim is, despite Google and everything else we have available today, or to try to find somebody else who has a similar claim and think that their claim is worth the same as the other person. It just doesn't work that way. So if you have a claim against an insurance company and you're dealing with an insurance adjuster, the best thing you can do is go to a lawyer and get that lawyer to deal with the insurance adjuster. That is my answer. BJ, you want to add to that?
Yeah, I mean, you have to have a lawyer. I mean, the bottom line is, to get an opinion about whether you should accept a settlement, you need to have a lawyer on your side looking at the case and telling you whether the offer is reasonable or not. Anything short of that, you're not serving yourself. A buddy of mine had a client come in. Another thing to watch out for with insurance companies, as Carl said, they're trained to manipulate, might be kind of harsh, but to try to convince you not to go to a lawyer. And so a friend of mine who is an attorney had a client come in who had been in a wreck, and he opened his file, sent all the appropriate notice letters and that sort of thing out. And then he gets his call back from the insurance company. And the insurance company says she already settled her case. And they had sent her $1,000, which she thought went toward her medical bills, as a full and complete settlement of her case. And she didn't know any better. So she signed it, deposited it, case over. So you got to watch out. Not that every insurance company is going to do that, but more and more are doing stuff like that to try to manipulate the injured people to keep them from going to a lawyer, because the lawyer will see what the case is worth and work toward that end. So you need to hire a lawyer. This is a very short answer to that question. You need a lawyer.
Absolutely. They need to call you.
There are many, many, many situations similar to that. I know this is going 40 years back, where a client of ours, well, he wasn't at the time, a person was hurt and had a fairly significant claim. This person was from the Mideast and did not speak English. The adjuster came out and looked at the car and talked to the guy and said, "This is only for the property damage. So you sign right here and we'll take care of the property damage." This person signed the release, but the release language showed that it was for the release of all injuries, all personal injuries and property damage. They came to us after that. Now, we're talking about someone who doesn't speak English and had no clue what they were doing. When they then said, "Well, what about our medical bills and the pain and suffering, et cetera?" The insurance company's response was, "Well, you've signed a release for all of your damages." We took the case and filed suit and took it all the way to the Court of Appeals of Georgia. And here's the lesson in this. The Court of Appeals, in its infinite wisdom in the state of Georgia, said, "Too bad. Your agreement is contained in the four corners of that piece of paper, and you can't go outside the four corners of that piece of paper because you made a mistake." Now, that's just the law in Georgia.
Mhm.
So you've got to be careful before you sign anything with an insurance company. And as BJ says, the easiest thing is to go get a lawyer. And even if it's
Absolutely.
just to look over it and give you advice. The lawyer may not even sign you up as a client, but give you a little advice on how not to proceed.
Okay. And now listen, also it's important to point out this might be a real good time to let everybody know that they can come to you for an absolutely free consultation. Am I correct?
Us and most any other lawyer will give somebody an initial interview without charging them.
Okay. Now you also have some information on your website that will kind of help lead and guide them if they have a personal injury claim. Can you speak to that?
Sure. We have a website. It also advises people on what questions they have a right to ask any lawyer they talk to. I think that's the most valuable thing that we offer is a free service to the public. If you're going to hire a lawyer, you may want to talk to 2 or 3 lawyers, and you go to our website and get these questions off, and feel free to ask that lawyer those questions before you determine that you want him or her to represent you in your claim.
All right. Well, and that's important to know. That's why I brought it up. It's so very important to know. Carl Reynolds and BJ Savant are our attorneys tonight. We're talking about the insurance companies. And when we come back, we're going to get into more questions next on Law Call.